Good morning, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party, and it is the 30th of July. We are almost done with July. I think tomorrow's the last day of July. Today is Thursday. Thursday. Oh, look, I need to make this a little bit bigger. I need to get like a background image that makes it to where I can line things up, like where I know exactly how to line everything up so it looks right on here. If anybody has any thoughts on that, I would be curious. If I doubt this is a problem that just I have, where it's just like as I change configurations throughout the day, I don't know exactly where um, everything lays out. And I'm kind of a cheapskate. I don't really like to buy stuff if I don't need to. So there's that. All right, so I'm in a transitional mode, right? Like I'm going to try really hard to do this without putting my preachy hat on, but like if when I do my preachy hat, I think what we're looking at is basically how I do my internal dialogue whenever I'm trying to like teach myself something, when I'm trying to say, hey, this is something to pay attention to. But today, a year ago, when I would create a service, basically I would just create the service, and it was ForRoot and whatever. Never put any thought into what anything. Just create the service and then inject it and use it wherever. Then I started kind of becoming pretty uh, sensitive to at least not two services when not injecting each other, so I could avoid that cyclic um, bug or error that shows up when like two ForRoot services require each other. Um, and now I'm in the sort of this transitional mode where like when I create a service, like in this specific situation, like if I'm here and I'm creating a service that I just to keep track of things that are just for update, I'm like, well, that service should only be available in this suite of of things, right? So like this button up here should never know anything about services. This button should know anything about services. These don't are about update, but anything in here cares about update. I That's new. That's a novel idea for me that I've only had for maybe that's sort of been percolating and organically creating in my head for about a week now. So maybe 2 weeks. And the thing is that during this transitional time is such a critical point in when you're trying to learn things because um, in a year it's just going to be natural. It'll just be muscle memory. It'll be like, you know, like when you tie your shoes, it just all happens, right? So like I'll immediately just go through my process of, oh, okay, where does the server go? Service go? How does it work? Blah, 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 blah. And then if I don't pay close attention right now, I really won't be able to explain it. So it'll be like, I don't know, I just do it this way. I don't know why I do it this way. But you do not want to be that way. It is not a pleasant experience. And people just always assume the worst of you when you do something like that. So right now I'm like out loud for me trying to sort of put English words to this, which the disadvantage of that is it will make me a little slower, right? I'll be slower to build out these things, but I'll be faster, but it'll be easy for me to explain it. And as someone who just muscle memories it will be able to do a lot faster than me. Um, so, nothing comes without a a cost. So anyways, so this is what I mean by isolate the update service is, and those aren't probably the best words, but um, I want to take a service and make it to where it's only visible to the things that matter about it. So the first thing I need to do, and I'm thinking out loud here, we know that basically, like this is a nice visual, like this app update layout. This is layouts, right? And we have and we decided at some point for whatever reason, I think it was probably a good decision, but we decided to break things out by layout, by the different layouts. And we have this app update layout. And the zoom level only matters to the app update layout. That's it. Now, the process I literally just went through, where I'm doing this analysis, architectural analysis, where I'm saying, I have this folder, and only things within this folder should see that. That's a novel thing for me. I've not been doing that for very long, and it feels a bit awkward. But I know that in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in some time in the future, it won't feel awkward anymore. And when that doesn't feel awkward, then my explanations will start to go away. I'll be like, I don't need to explain it. I just know it. I know this. I don't need to explain it. But the problem is I know this in July 30th of 2026. I know it. Oh, I'm starting to understand it. In April 30th of 2026, it'll probably be something I just know and I don't need to explain to myself anymore. And then by the first of next year, it'll be something that I just know and I never explained. I don't have any idea how to explain it. So this is my chance. This is my chance to get that understanding. I believe the first thing I need to do is look in my services, and at this point, I only have one service. So, and it's injectable, provided in root, and I'm pretty sure this is Angular 22. Let's see, Control P. Let's go to our package.json. I think it's this package. And scroll down, and yeah, we are in Angular 22. So that means I can use the at service decorator instead of the at up injectable decorator. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is change this to service. And then we want to change this configuration object to, I think it's auto. Service. I don't know. It was like auto focus, auto create, auto. I don't remember. Um, let's see if ChatGPT is has been updated yet. Value in the new. Okay, the value isn't a configuration object attribute. What is the configuration attribute for the new Angular 22? Is it at service? Service. At service. Decorator. No. Is it a decorator? Decorator that indicates that the service is not a root singleton. I don't know if those are the best words, but like if you get too advanced and the everything becomes too muscle memory for you, you can't even come up with the question. Provided in at service provided. No, no, I'm talking about so it still hasn't been updated. Talking about the new Angular 22 at service. Decorator does not. Instead, it uses auto provided. Yeah, auto provided. Auto. So I think what I have done. Okay, so this does not like that. I don't know exactly. I'm just going to copy this whole thing. And I don't know what the word is. I understand the for root or the auto provided, like that makes sense, but what do you call it? Oh, okay, so we need to bring in service from up here, comma, service. All right. And so it's auto provided is equal to false. So that means that it's just not going to work, right? Like it's going to be broken. And it's building. It's currently built. Oh, it's completely broken, right? So F12 inspect. If we look at and see, I want to see what the console looks like. Yeah, so it's saying it's got an error, console error. It says, hey, there's no provider for app layout service, right? So which is exactly what we'd expect to happen. Now, I wanted to see that because the reason I wanted to see that is because I one day I'm going to run into that bug, and if I skip across this and I don't pay attention, um, I won't do it. So now I won't be able to remember it. So now we know in our app layout, let's close up this service so I can get a view. It looks like this is the top component, that app update layout component, which makes sense to me. So now in our imports or in our component, this is called configuration object, we want to add a new thing, and that is providers. We want to create a providers attribute, and then that gets a colon, and then I believe it's an array, and then we go like that. And with this providers attribute, we want to bring in I believe this is what we want to do. And I can't remember if we want to, if we still need to inject it. I don't think we need to inject it. I believe it just works now. It's been, it's like it's like available. Um, no, maybe we do need it. Okay. Yeah, because we won't be able to access it if we. Oh, okay. So you can provide it, and then it'll be created at that level. But if you want to use it, if you want to do something with it, then you need to inject it. That makes sense to me. Now let's see if everything. And what was to me, what's really interesting about all of that is that it wasn't a transpile time error. It couldn't find it during transpilation. It could only find it during build time. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Okay. It looks like everything is working. So tomorrow, so that's good. So we did, in fact, do the isolating the service. Now, next will be to add the signals and listen to them and update the component. So that's tomorrow. We'll add signals in and maybe even listen to them. Um, but basically, the idea is we want to be able to, these two need to toggle back and forth. They shouldn't both be displayed, and that'll be a signal that's in that specific thing. So nothing else in the whole system needs to know if this is expanded or regular view or expanded view, full screen view. Nothing needs to know what the zoom level is or whether they clicked zoom or not or and what the current level is and stuff like that. Like nothing outside of this needs to know that. So that service needs to be isolated. Now, I've said that like 5 times in this video already. So it it's starting to get that sort of preachy sort of mentality. But honestly, I'm only doing that so that it sticks in my head better. I want to make sure that I remember all these things. Anyways, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Happy coding. Bye.